Alrighty, everyone. Let's see what kind of game we can get into today. With the white pieces, I still play d4. It's kind of the opening that I've been playing most lately, and I'm going to kind of stick with it. I have started kind of reviewing some of this Queen's Gambit declined line just to try new variations, just to kind of get an idea of where things are looking. One of those variations is putting the knight here on e2 instead of moving it here to f3. I think that's a normal position for this. But anyway, as I was saying, if I put the knight on e2, I really need to get my other knight, my bishop, out and about. So we're going to have to move that bishop out earlier than we normally would in the original kind of way that I played this, where I would hold off on moving this bishop as long as possible until my opponent captured here. So I'm going to try this slight change in the pattern just to see if it works out. I probably could have actually pushed e4. All right, move my knight here. Get e4 ready. All right, so he's probably going to go for some kind of fianchetto structure. So let's go ahead and castle. My opponent's castled. I'm castled. I'm probably push. Yeah, I'll go ahead and push the. Well, there's not really any double pressure yet. Let's just continue developing. So what I was saying is I could have pushed my knight here to c3 earlier, and then that supports the pawn here on e4. Notice the bishop and the knight both support that pawn. So that's an option as well, going with this kind of early move order. Something to consider. You know, moving the knight up earlier in the move chain, getting instead of pushing the pawn to e3, just push it all the way up to e4, since that knight is already there supporting it. And that opens up the door to get the bishop there to double support. All right, so another knight move. My opponents, looks like we're both kind of have the same thought process. I don't know where this bishop needs to go. And in fact, I'm thinking that with this kind of structure, this weird, awkward structure I've got, I'm wondering if I should have got this bishop out a lot earlier. Not certain. Not certain at all. This is a preemptive move. It's unnecessary. It does take away this particular square from the knight, but I don't know if my opponent's even going to use that, to be honest with you. The idea is if my opponent were to rotate this knight around, notice it is supported, but rotate this knight around in order to put pressure, immediate pressure, on my light square bishop. Okay, so here's what we were talking about. The main difference that I'm trying to kind of just explore, right, try a little bit different, is the capture here on d5. Normally I wait and let black capture, and then my bishop is there to go, but since I've already moved my bishop once, I don't really want to go around moving it again if I can help it, right? That's one of the principles of chess, is try not to move the same piece too many times. So since I moved my bishop early, the goal is to allow this capture to happen. Okay, that's an interesting way to do it. Do I want to trade knights right now? I kind of don't. Actually. Because if I trade... Let's say I capture. My opponent could capture with the queen. This knight could then move to a dangerous square, but I can't do anything about it because the queen and the bishop would form this nice long battery, threatening checkmate immediately. And since my knight is not on f3, that would be a problem. So I don't want to capture here. If my opponent captures, I capture with the pawn, fix my pawn structure, and boy, I don't know. there's really not a good way to defend this with this here. So let's continue on. Let's find something else to do. So I'm encouraging my opponent to grab here. The question is, how do I want to take back? I think I'm going to take this way. This pawn is defended twice. It's attacked twice. So I have a bit of a control in the center now, which I'm happy with. Here's, like I said, here's, oh, what is he doing here? I don't know what this knight's job is. Maybe? So I'm trying to get better at kind of showing my thought process as I'm thinking it. So I've got a few things that I got to worry about. Number one, this bishop is insufficiently defended, right? The only thing defending is a knight, and the knight well, I guess the knight is defended fairly well. So I guess that's not too big of a concern. I was thinking that the knight wasn't that really well defended because it was only defended by my queen. And so I had this kind of tentative chain of the queen defending the knight defending the bishop. If any one of those things fall, stuff starts to go bad. Okay. Did not anticipate this. I'm gonna, ooh, if my opponent pushes down, what happens? I can't capture. I'm moving out from underneath this just in case. I'm not happy with this particular queen move. It does kind of put some pressure along this diagonal. Notice my opponent doesn't have a knight on f6 either, so there's nothing defending this pawn. So something to keep in mind, that having this diagonal under my control makes me happy. All right, so my opponent is looking to capture and pin this so I can't capture back. I can capture with the knight, but again, I'm pinned and I can't capture back. All right, so I've now opened up this diagonal. Depending on how he captures, right, because my queen is underneath this rook, and that's not where you want your queen to be, especially since this is about to open up. But I don't mind allowing my opponent to take a single pawn if I can get a single pawn with check. That actually helps me. I'm actually fine with this because it allows, it closes this position down, so these aren't going anywhere. So now I can take opponent has to move here. I'm now trying to see if there's anything I can do to enhance the attack. I think I'm just going to go here. Since this pawn is blocking this rook, I no longer feel threatened on my queen. Not immediately, anyway. I'm going to go ahead and prep this, pre-move that just in case. I'm down on the clock, but that's okay. There is a 5-second increment on this, so I can get my time back. If we get to a time scramble, I've got a little bit of help to, avoid any major trauma. Black's light square bishop is undefended. Oh, no, it's not. No, the knight's keeping an eye on it, so that's okay. All right, so that's good. All right, now my knight is weakly defended. You know what? I'm up a pawn. Would I be happy making this trade right here? Let me decide for a second. It gives my, well, this pawn is really well defended. I don't know if right now I'd like to, there's no really good place to put my queen. I could bring it down. My opponent doesn't have any additional attacks along that line. So if I bring the queen down and over, I don't really have any attacking chances. Does that help at all? No, not really. All right, I guess we go. I can't think of anything better, so we're going to go for the trade. So my pawns are on dark squares. He's got a dark square bishop. This is going to become a target. So let's go ahead and get it out of the way onto a light square so it's no longer a target. It also means that my opponent can't push this to help solidify his forward pawn. My bishop and knight are not well placed. I need to figure out a better way to get them. Probably, man, I just don't know. Because my pawns are on dark squares, like, okay, I'm hurting my opponent's dark square bishop, but I'm also hurting my own dark square bishop. It might be time to push f4 and start this pawn attack. Get my rooks lifted. Maybe get my rook along the third rank. Might be time to do that. Yeah, that feels good. Okay, so that means that this bishop has to go somewhere. Where the hell is it going to go? I guess for now we can stick it here, and then when this pawn moves, okay. He's going to go for that. That's covered already. Let's try this. So dark square bishop, I want to try to keep my main pieces on light squares to stay out of the range of that. Okay, yep. We saw that coming. This is okay. Oh no, this is not okay. This is a fork. Okay. So I have to keep this bishop along this path because the bishop has to keep here because this knight hitting this square is a fork on my rooks, which sucks. I was just saying that I wanted to keep my rooks on light squares, but with a knight around, that gets tricky because if they're on the same color, you end up with potential forks. So. Yeah, my opponent saw me getting ready to do this. He could push past. I can't do that yet. Not happy. I'm not happy closing this down even more. My poor dark square bishop is a total dog right now. 100% my dark square bishop is a total dog. Eliminating the knights is sucky. Number one, I was hoping to keep my knight on the board with this really closed position, but his knight is very advanced and kind of strong, so it would be nice to get rid of that. Okay. Can I go here? So all my opponent has to do is slide this over. Oh. That is interesting. This is defended, so I'm not too worried about it. I mean, it's technically defended twice, so I'm not really worried about it all. The question is, how do I want to... I guess now is a good time to get my bishop involved, because I can now finally rotate my bishop around. Well, we've got 2 pawns now. This is going to become a threat, so we're probably going to stick our rook, yeah, right there. This is good. There is a potential for forks that I've got to watch out for, but my opponent has a little bit of stress right here. He could stick that rook right there. Oh, no. Now I have an attack here, and I'm going to slide my rook under. Where are you going, Mr. Knight? So he's going for that, which is a fork. He's got to move the knight. I'm guessing here with check, at which point in time I'll probably go underneath. Oh, no. Oh, he did get the fork. Ah, damn. All right, well, fudge. Okay. So, how do we want to do this? Damn, damn, damn. He got the fork. Okay. No, because that comes with check. All right, let's just go here. So I've got to move quick now, right? We've eaten up all of our time chatting. My opponent got a pawn back and is going to win an exchange, so he's going to be up in material. I'm going to win another pawn back, but at what cost? Oh, he didn't take it. I'll be damned. Okay. Actually, I didn't need to do that with this bishop sitting here. That, no. This is covering that pretty well, so I can still just go here. I screwed up. Nope. He's gonna win this guy. That was a mistake. That was a mistake. That was a mistake. That was a mistake. Keep an eye on this pawn. And we go for a draw. Okay. All right. Well, GG to my opponent. He got the draw on me. That was a mistake. Back here, right here. Yep, I said that I had this covered, but what I didn't realize was, yeah, I have it covered, but I'm basically trading a pawn for a bishop. And what I needed to do was I needed to get a second defender here. Actually, let me turn this off. Let me see. How should I do this? So right here, I have to move this particular rook. Yeah, moving it up here, I think, makes sense. So he decided to take... That was a mistake. And then what I needed to do was just drive down. Yep, I just needed to drive down. That's what I needed to do. I bet that's what the engine says too. No? Checkmate in 6. Man, I'm pissed. How? Because he's blocked in. Because he's blocked in by his own piece. Ugh. He's blocked in by his own piece. So doubling up here. Oh, this too, right, that's what this is. Because if he queens now, checkmate. Ah, man, I didn't see it. Oh, I didn't see it. I was so focused on this pawn that I didn't see that I had some powerful tools here. Oh, I didn't see it, man. Everything was correct until right here. If in my thought process, like, I should have recognized that my opponent has a defender of this square and I have one attacker on this square. So I attack the square, he defends the square. If it's 1-1, then the defender wins. Tie goes to the one who moves last or moves second. by going aggressive, I should have recognized that I have this row open and I have this row open, and my opponent is blocked in. Doubling up here is just solid move strategy, and if my opponent moved his rook out of the way, let's say he moved his rook out of the way, then what? Then we come with check. He has to move here. Right, because that's covered. That's what it is. I was like, I don't get it. I don't see it. I don't see it. I don't see it. So here, I should have doubled up. And if he queened, I go check, or that's checkmate, right? If instead of queening, if he had moved out of the way, that's fine because I can move here with check. Opponent has to go this way. I have this square covered for checkmate. 3 checkmates on the board, and I missed all 3 of them. Didn't see any of them. It's okay, my opponent missed an important move earlier. Should have started at the back and worked my way forward, right? Yeah, I mean, look, my opponent missed this. And I go way up. I could have gone check first. He comes up, and then I get to move. Actually, I could have gone check. Oh, that is defended, so we can go check here. And then we can push for almost for free, because even if he goes here, I can get a rook behind it. Let's say he throws a check in. Let's say he goes like here. What if I go like that? Because he can... Oh, no, I can't because he can take here. No, but I take there. He takes... I queen. He takes... I take. I'm up a rook at the end of the day. It's still not bad. All right, let me delete all these so I can read the board a little bit better. Yeah, and I didn't see this as a 3-fold repetition, honestly. Like, rook c... Yeah, see, he went king e3, king f2, or I went king e3, king f2, king g1, king f2. So here's king f2. All right, so I guess I start on f2, king f2, king f2. All right, I'll give you that. I didn't realize that that's what was considered. I didn't realize that would be... Okay, so I guess... All right. So 1 move, 2 move, 3 move. Yeah, I didn't see that as 3-fold repetition. So they're saying this is position 1. This is position 2. That's position 3. All right, I thought I had one more move. So shame on me for not knowing the rules of 3-fold repetition. Damn. All right, let's take a quick gander at our mistakes, because I know we made some mistakes. Right, here, this is an opportunity for me to get my dark square bishop out early. This has a name, and I don't remember the name of it. That's not what I was thinking it was called, but okay. Oh, because he does this funky move order. If he'd started here. Oh, I thought this had a name. Maybe it does. So yeah, closing. This is my first mistake, I think, is closing this position down with my bishop still behind the pawn chain. So if I'm going to try this move order, then I probably should get this guy out a lot earlier. Yeah, so my dark square bishop was kind of a crappy piece most of that game. Yep, here we go. The engine's saying push e4. Yep, I've got the double defense on it, and I could go for it. Yes, the engine doesn't like it because now it's a little too late. Not in love with this move by my opponent. I don't know what it's threatening. Well, yeah, I guess he did need to get it out of the way. Right, okay. And there's really not a good way to get that knight out of the way with this bishop here. He can't rotate it around, so okay. In order to get that pawn push in, I'll give him that. Which is exactly what he did. Wow, huge error on my part. Right, because I've trapped my bishop. Yep. And thankfully my opponent missed that. Yeah, and this is just one move too late. Just one move too late. And I was able to sneak in and open the position up. Yeah, the engine wanted me to retreat, and I'm betting it's wanted me to retreat and come around this way. I don't know. But the engine says I have an advantage. White has a 2-point advantage at this point in time. Yeah, that was potential for disaster. My opponent immediately attacked that. Yeah, I'm really surprised he didn't push all the way up, to be honest with you. Wow, the engine says I have a massive advantage here. So I debated on this, but I don't see what the benefit is. Oh, coming after the base of the pawn chain that way, I guess. Ah, and a fork. There we go. There we go. That's what the engine was looking for. There it is. So there's a massive fork for you. And it's supported, meaning it has a pawn at the base already. So, you know, there's that going for us. All right. Any other mistakes that we made? Yeah, I felt this was a decent move, honestly. It gets rid of this powerful knight, but the engine does not like it. Right, because the engine wants me to get up here and get up here, but oh well. Yeah, man, I played this really well. I'm really proud of myself. I played this really well. Rook D1. Oh, Rook D1. Yeah, okay. But I just figured it would hit this. But I guess as long as I stay... Well, the engine says here, but Can't you grab that? Oh, because then I see. Because this is open, you pin the knight, and now the knight is dead. There's no way to save it. So, okay. Yeah, that's what I was looking at, was if I move my king out of the way, then I lose the base of the pawn chain. And that was one of the things that I was counting on as my strengths, was these pretty strong pawn chains. The engine says forget this and just go straight here. I'm down material though, right? 1, 2, 3, 4. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7. So 3 pawns for a bishop and 3 pawns for a rook. Okay. I could see that being a decent trade. Yeah, and then just having connected passed pawns. Yeah, this was the fork that I was sure screwed me, but my opponent missed it, thank God. And then here's the end game that I just, so mad at myself. So mad at myself for missing. I could have even just gone here. Like, I could have just immediately gone for a check, start driving my opponent's king out. Oh, whoops, yeah, not that. Keep trading. Yep, defend. Ah, because this, yeah, okay. And that, okay. Yeah, so that would have been an ugly line. Not good there. But yeah, okay, so here we are. So this is, we got all the way here, man. We got all the way here. We had an advantage, and I don't know my endgames. This is the same challenge that I continually face, is that I don't know these endgames. Now, granted, I did allow myself to get into a little bit of time trouble, right? 4 minutes to 55 seconds. There's part of my fault there. Most of it was me just spending too much time on pretty obvious moves. I did miss some things. If I had played a slower game, right, a longer time control or maybe a larger increment, then I wouldn't have these time control issues. Well, I'd have a different kind of time control issue, but yeah, I was so focused on this pawn being my hero pawn. I should have just stuck this guy underneath, got my connected passed pawns, and started running both of these guys up the board. But checkmate in 4 on the board, even from this position. Because this is defended, so he has to come here. And then, why is this checkmate? Oh, because he can't go away. I mean, he can't go, why can't he go here? Oh, the long-range bishop. Wow. Wow. So they can't go here because the long-range bishop. Can't go here because the pawn. So the opponent is cut off on here. The rook cuts him off all along here. And the rook cuts him off there. Wow. So I had 4 checkmates on the board, and I missed all 4 of them. All right, granted, they're all variation of the same thing of using these 2 rooks around my opponent's open king. But, you know, a savvy chess player would recognize right here that there is some potential. Right here, the savvy chess player would go, look at this. I've got 2 rooks. My opponent's king is completely exposed. Take advantage of that. But instead, I focused on, you know, just one aspect of the game and didn't kind of look at how the game shifted. So, oh well. Alrighty, guys, this was a fun game. I really enjoyed it. Turned out to be a draw, but a draw is good. My opponent is rated about the same as me, mid 1450s, 1456. I have climbed to 1447, so to draw with someone who's a 1450 means that I'm at least equal in talent to them, right? At least equal to them in chess skill, at least for this particular game. So that's a good thing. I'm happy with it. All right, guys. Well, y'all have a great day, and I'll talk to you next time.